man.
Professional bass fishing tournaments, they've revolutionized the sport. Even if you don't play the cash-for-cash game, as a bass fisherman you benefit with improved tackle, better boats and motors, and fishing electronics. But it's at a Bassmaster tournament where you meet the pros face-to-face. That's when you learn their winning secrets.
What lure was it?
It's a hook.
Okay, so some folks are tight-lipped. It's understandable. Today, our Bassmasters camera is at the $188,000 Oklahoma Invitational at Grand Lake of the Cherokees. The bite is slow. An early cold spell has put a big chill on things. But when conditions are tough, that's when we learn about bass behavior. Some pro will know how to make them bite. There are basic rules that apply to a cold front, as Denny Brower, winner of the recent Bassmaster BP Megabucks, explains.
Normally what happens is once a front goes through, you get the bright skies, and it forces them to the darker places, and wood offers a great amount of shade, and they just like to get tied up against it. And it offers an ambush point. A lot of times a piece of wood structure like a dock's the fish's home to start with, but his strike zone's large, and as the weather system comes through and everything deteriorates, that strike zone shrinks. And if you don't get a bait right in front of their nose, you're not going to get them to bite.
Good advice, but keying on man-made structures here may not be the best pattern, as Jim Morton of Oklahoma knows.
When the lake level on Grand Lake gets this low, all the water comes down out of the willow trees. There's only basically two kinds of structure on this lake, and that's boathouses and rocks, and man-made brush piles if you happen to lucky enough to know where some are. The docks get beat up pretty quick because that's where everybody goes. There's no other structure to fish.
Shaw Grigsby's strategy is to fish the docks, but where others seldom cast.
Boy, I pulled it out of the water, and I mean, he just bowled on it, and instead of me falling on this side, I fell on that side. There he is. I still got him. I get it, Walt. Yeah, I get it. If he's still there, back up, buddy. Back up, you. I want to get in here.
Get me out of here. Yes! Son of a gun. Thank you.
That's good, too. I get half of that fish.
Man. I'll go get my hat. It's time for me to just quit.
Stay tuned, I'm Bob Cobb. The Bassmasters will be right back with the Oklahoma Invitational from Grand Lake and how the pros catch bass in cold front conditions. You're going to be surprised at the winning technique.
Shangri-La Resort, Grand Lake of the Cherokees in northeastern Oklahoma. Start of the $188,000 Bassmaster Oklahoma Invitational. The second of 6 qualifying invitationals for the 1993 Bassmasters Classic World Championship. Early November, usually a mild season in the Sooner State. But if you plan a bass fishing tournament, plan on the weather falling into the tank. How's this for a tough fishing forecast? Overnight low temperatures dropping into the 20s. Daily highs in the 40s. Possible snow flurries. Chance of rain. Wind gusts to 25 miles an hour. But if you come prepared with a portable heater like Eddie Dill of Huntsville, Alabama, cold weather isn't the problem. Catching keeper-sized bass could be. The length limit for this tournament is 14 inches or longer. The daily creel is 6 bass, largemouth or spotted. The angler who can weigh in daily limits the next 3 days can almost count the $35,000 top award. With water temperature below 58 degrees, a jig and pork trailer is a good bet. But Texas pro Gary Klein, 1989 BASS Angler of the Year, is getting strikes on a tandem willow leaf spinnerbait. Chunk rock banks or riprap areas produce the most action in the 3-day practice. Last year, Ron Sheffield of Arkansas won here by pitching a jig on both docks. This morning, he's fishing a spinnerbait.
They seem to be more on the rocks this year than they did last year. Last year, the fish were on the wood, but this year they seem to be on the rock a little better than they do the wood. I don't really know why that is, other than the fact the water's, 5 to 10 degrees warmer this year than it was last year.
But slowing down the lure retrieve is still important in the cooler water temperatures. It's working for Gary Klein with his spinnerbait, but this one won't make the 14-inch size limit. George Cochran of Arkansas, 1987 Bassmasters Classic World Champion, is fishing the rock riprap pattern. Right now he's using a lipless crankbait, a baitfish imitator. Schools of shad are key to locating active feeding fish on Grand Lake at this late fall season. And as we'll learn later, the tip-off to solving the bass-catching puzzle in this tournament. And for many of the 320 entries, it's a real mystery today. Only 16 anglers will weigh in 6 bass daily limits. And all eyes are on Jerry Hoffman, a Wayne, Illinois pro who has a bragging bag.
Folks, watch this. 20 pounds and 1 ounce. Let's give him a great hand. Salute, man. That's a leader, maybe the winner of the tournament. Now, if you wouldn't reach in and pull out 2 of the biggest bass so our photographers can take a look at them. The biggest 2 you got. And then we'll take the others off so we can get some real good photos. Take those guys, if you would, pull those off.
Here's how the day 1 standings settle out. Jerry Hoffman's 20-pound 1 ounce catch gives him a 2-pound 1 ounce lead over Shaw Grigsby of Florida. In 3rd place is Norman, Oklahoma pro Jim Morton with 17 pounds 8 ounces, followed by Danny Correa and Jack Bell, tied for 4th. Overnight temperatures dip below freezing. Day 2 of the Bassmaster Oklahoma Invitational, and the fishing outlook is bleak. Catching a limit today will be a major league challenge. Tournament leader Jerry Hoffman had a banner day yesterday. 11 strikes, and he boated 10 of them. His best, a 4-pound 11-ounce bass. But this morning, he's batting 0. His half-ounce white spinnerbait with tandem blades isn't working. He's fishing fallen trees, laydowns on a rocky bank, similar structure to the fish-producing area yesterday. But that was his partner's spot, and Hoffman won't fish there today. Shaw Grigsby in 2nd place is fishing boat slips. Around the deeper docks, he's pitching a Bagley Fire Tiger color crankbait.
There he is. Come on, baby. No. Boy, I tell you what, I don't know about crankbaits, but I'll take it. I like it.
Danny Correa in 4th place weighed in 17 pounds yesterday, all caught around this boat dock.
Basically just been casting a jig inside the brush here. This dock's full of brush. There's 3 or 4 piles right in between the open slip here, and anywhere where you see a black cord hanging off the dock, it looks like television wire, like on the very fronts of them there. There's brush piles tied to those, and the fish are just holding on the brush. The brush seems to be laying in the water at like a 45-degree angle, and just work the jig up to the brush and just kind of work it through it.
Fish under the docks are getting spooked by the fishing pressure. Shaw Grigsby is trying a different approach. Fish the out-of-the-way spots.
Oh, now this is cute. Come on, darling. I like this. I mean to tell you.
Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will continue in a moment with the Oklahoma Invitational from Grand Lake of the Cherokees.
It's getting higher all the time.
Day 2 weigh-in of the Bassmaster Oklahoma Invitational. The catches appear slim. The leaderboard is going to shuffle, but Shaw Grigsby hangs tough.
If you notice, the scoreboard is 2nd place with 18 pounds. Today's weight, 11 pounds, 4 ounces. And folks, that is a fine creel. Let's give him a good hand. That's going to put him in the lead right there. In the lead.
Shaw Grigsby's 29 pounds 4 ounces holds the lead till Oklahoma's Jim Morton weighs in.
He's got a great creel, folks. He may take this lead. He could do it. 15 pounds. 11 ounces. Mark it. That's it, folks. I believe that'll give him the lead. No question about it. Now, hold the big. These are 5 fabulous, fabulous fish. Hold them up and let's get a couple of good pictures of them. Jimbo, you had a marvelous catch 2 days in a row, and that's the proof of the pudding. And what's going to happen tomorrow?
Well, I don't know, Ray. The water temperature is still dropping, and the fish are getting more sluggish, and got to slow down. And if I think there's enough fish there, if I can just get them to bite.
What's the lure you're using? I know you're not scared to tell.
Well, it's got. I don't really know how to describe it, Ray, but it's got one of those things, a hook, and you take one and you sharpen it.
Nice try,
That's enough
Ray.
of that.
But Jim
I know
Morton's
one
not
thing, that's not a
fighting.
bull.
He's got a 3-pound, 15-ounce lead over Shaw Grigsby, and his lure technique is different than anyone might suspect. Another Oklahoman, Charlie Reed of Broken Bow, jumps to 3rd place. Arkansas's Joe Yates climbs to 4th. Day 3, the showdown round of the $188,000 Bassmaster Oklahoma Invitational. Sunup on Grand Lake of the Cherokees. A pretty picture, but not what tournament leader Jim Morton would like. The wind is up, the water temperature down. Morton is fishing a buzzbait. Can you believe it?
It's really not unusual for this body of water. What happened was earlier, the water had cooled off quite a bit about a month ago, and then it warmed back up, and the shad moved into the bank and into the back of the cove. And I think that the last 2 or 3 days with this water temperature dropping like it is, these fish are just now beginning to move up and start to chase the shad and feed a little bit. Up here in pre-practice, before the cutoff, the fish were in, they had moved back out to 10 to 12 foot of water. But yeah, it's pretty unusual, and it's getting slower as the water temperature drops. It's getting slower. Just basically slow down the retrieve and just hope they come get it. Hope we catch a fish.
Shaw Grigsby returns to the docks at Terra Miranda Resort.
There he is. And it's a hog. Another one of these killer hogs in here. Huh, I know they like this spinnerbait too.
It's a little bit different bank than we've been fishing. Right around this corner here. Just as I get that out of my mouth. I don't think so. I don't know. There's a board right here in this left.
So far, Jim Morton's final round is in slow gear, but Charlie Reed in 3rd place has the pedal to the metal.
Gotta get him turned my way, baby. Got it. Good one.
He was hooked good.
That didn't hurt a thing right there. Those kind of put you back in the ball game quick right there.
Jim Morton's back on his favorite shallow water rock flat and throwing his buzzbait.
Stay down, baby. All right. I'm gonna get him up here where I can see him first. Thank you, babe.
Shaw is still trying to reach the hard-to-catch bass behind the docks.
Oh, yeah, that's a better fish. Come on, darling. Stay in here. Come on. No. No. Yes. Let's hope he goes. He's a little better. Now you do.
Jim Morton may be running out of fish and time. He needs a big bite.
Something's wrong with the drag. Mercy sakes. Ooh. Lord, thank you. I mean, he was just barely hooked.
Let's give a nice hand, folks.
At the final weigh-in, Jim Morton is naturally the crowd favorite. An Oklahoma angler, he's fished several tournaments on Grand Lake, but the odds are against him. He's a non-winner on the BASS Tour. In 2 years, he's not cashed a check. And how could anyone fishing a buzzbait in these conditions really expect to win?
4 bass is all he has. 4 keepers.
How you doing?
But what does he need to? What does he have to have? He's got to have about 6 pounds. And the weight? There he is, folks. Our winner, 10 pounds and 12 ounces. Man, oh man. Tell me about the bait you used.
Well, I used the buzz bait the whole tournament. I caught every keeper fish I caught on a chartreuse and white buzz bait.
Every fish?
Every fish.
What's magic about it?
Well, I think it was just knowing where the fish were, Ray.
You think another bait would have worked as well?
No, I don't.
Did you try any other bait?
Yeah, I threw spinner baits, I threw thunder sticks, I threw topwaters.
Always back to the buzz bait every time.
Back to the buzz bait every time.
Bet he did a job for you. Congratulations. Folks, let's give him a great welcome. He is our champion. Let's give a nice hand.
Believe it, Jim Morton is the winner with a total of 43 pounds, 15 ounces. His first BASS payday worth $35,000. Shaw Grigsby earns $23,000 for second, and former world champ Charlie Reed takes third and $21,000. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back with the Pros Pointer and Jim Morton's tips on tuning crankbaits.
Now we're going carried over of Texas. 1 bass. Carries weight today for 1 keeper, 1 dog.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
Here's 2 basic deep diving crankbaits. One has, as you'll notice, has a metal lip, and the other one has a clear plastic lip. They both have different kinds of line ties. This one has a line tie that's inset into the lure. This one has a line tie that's actually hooked onto the metal lip. How you tune this lure, first of all, don't ever bend this metal lip to try to tune it. What happens either on this kind of crankbait, which is a Hottentot, a mud bug, or any other kind of metal lip crankbait, if you bend that lip, it'll break the seal here and the lure will leak. What you want to do, if your lure is running off to the left, take your pair of needle nose pliers and slightly bend this hook link or this line tie link slightly to the right, in the opposite direction that the lure is running off to. If it's running off to the right, of course, you bend it to the left. Just remember, always bend this link, this connecting link, rather than the metal lip. On the line tie on this deep diving crankbait, same principle. Running right, bend left, running left, bend right. One thing to remember, when you hook onto it with your needle nose, be sure never to twist the line tie, because that'll break the connection loose and this line tie will get loose and the bait will eventually never run correctly. Get a hold of that line tie and just slightly bend it either way, whichever way is the correcting way. Tune your crankbaits. They get out of adjustment by hitting structures such as rocks and logs and stumps when you're fishing. And if you keep your crankbaits in tune, it'll make a difference at the end of the day.
Jim Morton's got folks buzzing about fishing cold fronts, and he knows crankbaits. Jim's the National Promotion Manager for Storm Lure Company in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, next week, our Bassmaster cameras will follow the pros from the BP Top 100 at Lake Lanier in Georgia. We'll learn some down-deep secrets for catching spotted bass and how to catch largemouths in cold, murky water. Join us. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. See you all next week.
The Bassmasters has been brought to you by Lunker Lure, manufacturer of the original buzzbait. DuPont Stren Fishing Lines. Ranger Boats, we still build them one at a time. Motor Guide, the choice of serious fishermen. Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. Berkeley Power Baits, fortified with flavor and scent enhancers so powerful fish just won't let go. Abu Garcia, the world's finest fishing tackle. Bass Pro Shops, world's largest supplier of premium tackle. Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores. Wrangler, the official jeans and shirts of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.